Hey everybody, welcome to House of Stereo. We're standing in the living room today with a very cool, very big package that I'm excited about. Conrad-Johnson has been a company that I have been aware of since I was a child. My father was a big Conrad-Johnson fan, and so I grew up with Conrad-Johnson pieces in my house basically all of my life. Here today is the Classic 120 SE. This is an amp I've played a lot with the Classic 60. For whatever reason, I had not spent a lot of time with the 120, so I'm very excited today because this is going to be our first look and Jasmin's first look at the Classic 120. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of you may or may not know, but Conrad-Johnson is, in my mind, one of the big four tube amp manufacturers. Of course, there's many, but in my world, in my knowledge, you have Audio Research, you have Conrad-Johnson, you have VAC, you have VTL, and those are, like the big four to me because they have consumer level all the way up to reference level products. My father is an Art 150 and Art 27A type amplifier owner. I've owned the Classic 60, in my youth. Mm-hmm. So the 120 SE is now here, and we're going to take a look at it. You haven't played a lot with tubes, like per se.
Yes, that's true. I've traditionally been a solid state fan.
Okay.
I bought myself a tube headphone amp maybe 10 years ago. Just like an internet purchase, not from like a well-known brand or anything.
Right.
But I have a pair of Grado, the RS1s.
Yeah.
And so I bought myself a nice little tube headphone amp, and it was awesome. Mm-hmm. I mean, it would really pumped new life into them.
Right.
But for my home systems, I've only ever owned solid state.
Okay.
So that was the path I knew. That's the path I've kind of always been on.
Right.
And of course, after working here and gaining more exposure to tubes, and it probably started with the Viva Audio, to be honest. Mm-hmm. The Viva Solista was probably one of the first tube amplifiers that I really spent a lot of time with.
Right.
And really had a new kind of, it really opened my eyes and my ears, so to speak, to tubes. So I've been trying to get to know tubes and the tube sound more. As you know, I've recently brought home two different tube integrated amplifiers. Yep. The Audio Research i70 and the Phasmation, the SA 1500. Yeah. And I am very excited. Yeah. I am very excited about tube amplifiers now. Okay. It has, and your dad has always been such a proponent for them, and has always told me you've got to take tube amplifiers home, and of course I have, and I'm really just loving what I'm hearing. I'm loving what I'm hearing, and so I'm excited to open this today to get to know it more. And with your, grace, maybe even able to take it home.
Yeah, of course you could borrow it, of course.
Take it home and really get to know the device. And of course, that's the best way I get to know things, is by taking them home in my listening room that I'm familiar with. And then I can really understand what's happening. Yeah.
Well, and it's good because at home, we're constantly interrupted here. And
it's
that's,
true.
And hey, we're grateful for the phone calls, don't get us wrong. But I think it's very important that we spend serious time listening to these products, because when people call in and are looking to find that synergy, us knowing what this sounds like with Monitor Audio, with Focal, with Triangle, with Borison, with whatever, Stenheim, knowing, having listened to this amp with 25 different pairs of speakers, we've got to develop that knowledge.
It's, and especially the question, how does this sound compared to this?
Right.
That's a huge question.
It's the main question that we get asked every day. Yep.
And sometimes I have to defer to you because you have more experience with it. Sometimes you have to defer to me depending on what the component is. Yeah. And so I love doing this so I can really, really understand what the differences are and easily be able to speak to them. Yep. And not to get too far into it, but I've been primarily because it's just a little easier for me to access my second system, which is the one with the triangle duettos. I had the thetas, I had the triangle thetas. I loved them so much that I treated myself and went up to the duettos.
Which is part of the Magellan line. Yes. So this is the stand mount speaker in Triangle's Magellan line, which is their top level.
So I've been connecting the audio research, the I-70 and the SA-1500 from Phasmation to that system. I will put it to my main system, but just getting behind there is a little bit more challenging. So I've been going the easy path. The life that these amplifiers have breathed into those speakers is honestly amazing. Amazing. So I'm really excited. I'm very excited.
Now, in fairness, and we've talked about this off camera, so I'm going to mention it to you guys. The Phasmation integrated is at about, I think, the $20,000 price point.
Yes.
The I-70 is at the $10,000 price point. And we don't have to name names, but what was the cost of the solid state amp that you're running normally?
So $2,300.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we went up 4 times.
For sure.
Four times in cost. Now,
100%.
you know that the Tube Magic is a thing. You know, and my dad always talks about Tube Magic, and I will tell you that I love tube gear. I have been far more comfortable with solid state over the past couple of years. Viva, you know, brought me back. Audio Research, Conrad-Johnson. These brands have brought me back, and you know, now that she's starting to get into it, I'm back into it again.
Right.
I'm really excited. You know, Dad. My father. Many of you have met him at shows in here, but he's such a big tube proponent. The PV4. We've had tube gear, and specifically Conrad-Johnson tube gear, for 40 plus years in my household. So, and by the way, Conrad-Johnson was recently acquired. They're based out of Fairfax, Virginia. Jeff Fischel, he'd worked for them for 30 years. In his 31st year, he became the owner. Is it Bill Johnson? And I get the names wrong, and that's okay. All I know is one time my dad had a problem. We drove up to Virginia. He had the amp in the back. We pull into Fairfax, Virginia. This was on the way back. We're picking it back up. The tube amp had been repaired, and this little old guy walks out with a hand truck and helps my dad get it into the car, and he gets in the car, and you know, we kids, we're sitting there just kind of watching the action from the van windows. And Dad gets in the car and he says, "That's the guy. He's the owner." That was a really cool moment for me, you know, for 10-year-old me, as the owner of the company walked it out to our car. It was really neat.
Of course.
So anyways, that diatribe aside, I apologize.
That's okay.
So Jeff Fischel, their designer and builder, head guy for 30-year employee, took over and really brought a lot of new engineering and some new design and some new products like the Art 88. The GAT preamplifier was mostly, I think, his. And that's all the amazing high-end stuff. And the Classic 120 kind of sits in that just under, you know, just on the cusp of getting into the crazy reference gear. So anyways, I think we should look at it. I think we should listen to it.
I think so too.
You want to cut it open?
Let's do it.
All right. You got one over there?
I do. And so just to kind of go back to what you're saying about putting, you know, referring to the Phasmation, a $20,000 amplifier on, when I was using a $2,300 amplifier. So, you know, some people, of course, will say, well, I mean, you're putting a $20,000 amplifier up to it. Of course, I mean, of course they're going to sound great, but I mean, why wouldn't I? I have it, you know. Of course, I want to hear what it sounds like.
Well, and so what's the cost on the Triangle Duettos?
They're about $8,000.
About $8,000.
About $8,000.
So there's always been that kind of that equation of if you're spending this much on your speakers, what should you spend on your amplifier? And Magnepan helped me kind of unlearn that equation, because for every $1,000 spent on Magnepan, I'm going to spend $2,000, $3,000, maybe $4,000 on the amplification. And so there's not really a hard set number. There's no formula. You know, when you're system building and when you're going after reference level sound, you know, you have let's say you have a $10,000 amp. Well, that's that's what I want on my 1.7 I's or X's. So that's a 3 times multiplier over the cost of the 1.7 I's. So what we're talking about though is yeah, you've got a $20,000 amp on an $8,000 pair of speakers, and it sounds better than you've ever heard them sound.
Right, exactly, for sure, yeah.
So,
yeah,
you know, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing inherently.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
I would say it's not common that someone is going to buy a pair of speakers for $8,000 and then purchase a $20,000 amplifier. I would say it's probably not common.
It's not common.
I would say it's probably what's more common is somebody is going to purchase a $20,000 pair of speakers and maybe put an $8,000 amplifier up to it. I think that's probably more common.
Maybe, yeah.
But I mean, you know, my point is that these any speaker, honestly, any speaker has, you know, all of this life in it just begging to come out. And depending on what amplifier you put up to it, you're going to hear some aspect of the speaker, right? So I've heard the duettos with many different amplifiers because they put so many amplifiers up to it, and I've loved it. I mean, there's never been a time where I've said, "Oh, that doesn't sound good." It always sounds good. They're fantastic speakers.
Right.
I've never put a low quality amplifier of all of the ones I've ever had up to them. They've always been good amplifiers.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, with now putting tubes up to it, and very specifically that the Phasmation, I've just heard them in a way I've never heard them before. Yeah. Ever.
And that's 9 watts.
That's 9 watts.
That's 9 watts of 300B tubes. It's a little pure Class A integrated amplifier. Very simple, very Japanese. And
it's funny, I don't want to cut you off, but you mentioned Magnapan, and while the duettos don't sound like Magnapans, I'm a huge Magnapan fan as well. So I've owned a few pairs for 30 years now. I mean, I bought my first pair 30 years ago. And I love that thing that Magnapan does that is really exclusive to Magnapan. Like, there is a sound that comes out of Maggie's that you just know it's a Maggie. It's this beautiful sound stage, this beautiful mid-range. And when I put the Phasmation up to the duettos, they really did bring some of that magic into the duettos. Yeah. And that was just a fantastic experience.
I want to hear that. Yeah.
It is really just amazing. And the i70, the Audio Research i70, I mean, also the same thing. Like, it just brings this quality to them that I hadn't heard before. And that was really amazing to hear that.
Tube magic.
Really amazing to hear it. Yeah. So what I'm going to do next, not to get too off track, is I'm going to bring both of those amplifiers into my main room and put them on my monitor audio, the Platinum 300s.
Yep. Okay.
See what happens.
Yeah, well, and I'm curious because it is 9 watts.
It is. I know.
So the horn tweeter duetto is one thing. This is a full 3-way, full range speaker. I think maybe the monoblocks are probably.
I mean, I agree. I agree.
All right, well, we'll get to it. You'll get to it. All right. We've gone on this long winding path about tubes, ignoring the beast in the box here.
Yes.
So here, let's pull this out. So this is the tube cage, and we've just closed close the top there. So this is the tube cage. I'll never get it looking as good as they got it, but oh well.
I don't think we'll really have the need to get it looking that way again necessarily. No.
So the closest thing, and by the way, my Premier 140 was the closest thing to this amp that I've had in my past was the Premier 140. And that's a 140 watt per channel tube amp from around 2008 that Conrad-Johnson produced. And we drove our 1.7i Maggies with the Premier 140. So this will be a neat comparison. All right, so what we have here is the tube cage. Now, some people use it, some people don't. If I were taking this home, it's more than likely, a Lego is going to get thrown into it, so I'm going to use the cage.
That's probably smart.
Probably safer elsewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, tube cage should you want it.
All right, inside of the box, we get all of the things we would expect to get: the power cable, biasing rod.
I want to show off the biasing rod, actually.
So we've got 2 of them there.
Oh, nice, nice. All right, the big biasing rod and the smaller biasing rod. So this is what I love about Conrad-Johnson. These little plastic sticks that have basically a flathead screwdriver on the end so that you don't shock yourself biasing tubes. These are mission critical things. I like to put them just under the left-hand side of my amps so that I always have them. It really sucks when you can't find them. So the biasing.
And since we're talking about the biasing rods, I don't think we mentioned that this unit is going to have EL34 tubes.
Yep.
For the output stage, and then
Yep.
for the input stage, 6922s.
Yes.
So large rod EL34s, small rod.
EL34s, 6922s.
Yes.
Now, I spoke to Jeff ahead of bringing this amp in, and I had been, we're on this tube journey. Jasmin's excitement really kind of reinvigorated my interest. And so one of the questions I had is, what are the practical differences between EL34s and the KT120s? And so this amp can accommodate either. Now, the Classic 120, the standard Classic 120, uses the EL34 tubes. The Classic 120 Special Edition, the SE, utilizes KT120s, but I actually asked Jeff to send me the Teflon capped version, the nicer version, the 120 SE, but include the EL34 tubes, because in a couple of months we're going to listen to this, we're going to spend some time with it, but then I want to upgrade it to the KT120 so I can know this amp both ways, and you can know this amp both ways.
Yeah.
Because I need to brush up on my tube knowledge. You know, a lot of these gentlemen that come in and Tina, men and women come in and they have a whole lot of tube knowledge that I just don't have that practical experience. So this marks the beginning of that journey.
Yes, it does.
Conrad-Johnson always uses this maroon tissue paper. I love it. It's like their color.
If I have to get you a gift, I'm going to put that in the gift bag.
Yeah.
Save myself some
money. We sure have enough of it. All right.
Let me just show this real quick. So this is the Conrad-Johnson. Of course, we know it's Conrad-Johnson because it has that clear end on it that we know lights up when we plug it in.
Yep. Yep.
And then we get a screwdriver on the inside, and what I thought were fuses at first, you corrected me and...
Bus bar, they call it? I could be wrong. If it's not a bus bar, we'll put it up what the actual name is, and I apologize for being wrong if I'm wrong.
So actually, okay, so this says 600 vac fast-acting fuse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think it's like a bus.
Okay, I gotcha.
One of those things.
Okay.
You know, those small audiophile vagaries that I feel like I know, but I might not.
It's a little vague for me, so.
Yeah. Mullard tubes. So we have 8 EL34s. Let's take a quick peek at them. Yeah.
They're EL34s.
Yeah, they're EL34s.
I'll show you
we'll
see them when they're inside the unit. And then, of course, the 36922s.
Yep.
All right, so that completes that box.
Well, we may want to move this whole thing over there.
Okay.
And this is where the lobby music will start playing and we'll start speeding up.
Sure. That'll work. Let me bring this out.
Now, I may need your help.
Okay.
You want to go on the front?
Yeah.
Everybody, nice flat shot.
Ready?
Yep. You see that? See that weight?
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely heavy towards this side.
All right, so here, let's go ahead and pull it out. You and me.
There we go.
There we go. Here, let's move. I'm going to move this box just completely out of the way.
Well, let's get it from. Okay.
Okay. So here we go. Here. Bit more. Okay. I was a little too quick on the putting away. Okay, you good over there?
Yep.
All right, here we go, ladies and gents.
Let's just tilt it a little that way.
I'm off the edge. All right, so first and foremost, this is a big damn amplifier.
It is.
It is a big boy. All right, our feet are solidly on the table. Now, one of the things about Conrad-Johnson is they are very much single-ended. And so in my world, as I was coming up, I always looked at Audio Research was the balanced company, Conrad-Johnson was the unbalanced company. Phasmation, single-ended, a lot of companies, it's just, to a lot of them it's a preference. So Conrad-Johnson is very much an RCA cable company. I'm going to lean it a little bit. Oh, you know what? All right, so as you can see here, we have the 3 6922s there down in front, and then the 4 EL34s or KT120 tube, what do you call them? Tube
sockets.
Sockets. There's a word for it. I forget the word. I'll put it up on the screen if I remember. Let's do some heavy lifting and just turn it.
Okay.
We'll turn it this way.
You want some help with it, or?
Yeah.
All right. You want to
turn? This is a big boy. We're turning clockwise. I got it.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Oh, you want to put the? I gotcha.
Yeah, because I want to show.
Okay.
All right. Ow. Okay. So a fairly simplistic design. There's not a hell of a lot going on here. Our bus are big fuse sections, speaker terminals here, RCA inputs, and the power cord. Of course, massive transformers inside here. As you know, the transformer is really what has the most to do with the wattage, the output wattage of the tube amp. So that's why the I-70 getting the reference 80, so Audio Research is I-70, they're using the transformers from the reference 80 line, and that's what makes it so big and powerful and beefy, is that great transformer. Well, when you pick this box up, you know which side the transformers are on.
Yeah.
You casually pick it up and it's gonna tilt. All right, let's turn it back around and let's tube it up.
Okay. Let me get some
have some
gloves.
gloves?
Let me grab some and then.
All right, so let's glove up.
Here we go. I got my trusty stool with me.
All right.
Find
Are they marked? Do we have?
I did not immediately notice a mark on the outside. No.
Okay. Open the other side of the box just in case.
Yeah, I don't think there's a marking on that side either.
You know, sometimes we get the, do not put this in pot 2. Okay, yeah, I guess we're just good to go. So this is the EL34 tube. So of course, again, don't touch the glass with your fingers. It can cause uneven heat spots and wear and tear. And I'm sure most of you audiophiles who are watching this, having seen tube amps being built 1,000 times, will know. But for the uninitiated, if you happen to wind up here, there's a little tab on the center that prevents this tube from going in any way other than the way it's supposed to go. You literally can't put it in wrong. You would have to force it in to do it wrong. So I'm just going to spin until it drops, and there we go. All right, so these are our 6920 tubes. These are most often used as the input stage tubes. We see them a lot on a lot of different tube amps. Good old trusty 6922.
Just checking for markings on this one, which I don't see on this either, right?
So these are Genelex Gold Lion tubes. That is what they look like.
And so although these smaller ones don't have the notch, they do have a space, a dead space here where there is no pin. So again, just pay attention.
Yeah.
Because it can only go in one way. Right, and then the last one. Here we go, final one. I don't know what it is, but there's something that I like about tubing a tube amplifier. Let's make sure everything is in. All right.
All right.
We are tubed up.
So this is what the Classic 120 looks like naked. Now, if we want to put the, and so by the way, there are all right, this is actually kind of cool, and I'm going to show this to you guys. So Jeff's got a clever way, and I'm actually starting to think that that's what the larger...
Oh, that's why we have the screwdriver.
Yeah, so here, I'm going to bring this closer to the camera. So these actually pop in or are recessed so that you can put the tube cage down. Now, we're saying all this and we're doing all this, but I really kind of want to show off the biasing.
Okay, everybody, so we've taken the Conrad-Johnson Classic 120 and we've moved it into one of our sound rooms. Hopefully our cameras have a good angle so you can watch the biasing, the tube biasing process that I'm about to go through. So the first thing is you want to gather your biasing rods that came with the Classic 120, and this is what we're going to use to do the biasing. There are two sizes. I'm going to use the thicker one. I think it's a little sturdier. And the first thing you're going to notice is that these tubes have some amber lights. Each tube will have a light on it, and it either be on or off. And we're going to adjust the ones that are on. So the way we do it, and I should say that I actually was lucky enough, I got onto a call with Jeff from Conrad-Johnson to really talk about tubes and tube biasing, as I'm kind of at the beginning stages of understanding tubes and tube amplifiers, as I've traditionally always been a solid state fan. I'm very quickly becoming a tube fan. So I'm trying to learn as much as I possibly can. And I definitely had a very informative call with Jeff today, and I'm going to share some of that with you guys. So basically, the reason why we're biasing the tubes is to make sure that the amount of current that's flowing through each tube is equal. So what we don't want to have happen is have some of the tubes essentially working harder than other tubes, while some of them are not working as hard or underperforming in a sense. So we're trying to match them, because if some of them are working at a lower level while some of them are overworking, that's going to mean that the ones that are overworking are going to not live as long, and that they're going to work and run hotter. And that is not good. That's not a good thing. So we want to fix that by making sure that they are all working equally. So to begin, hopefully you can see that this tube here and this tube here both have amber lights. And just quickly looking at the layout, we can see that from here to the left, these tubes are for the left channel, these tubes are for the right channel. So even though they're for different channels, they still are connected because they're all connected to the same DC power supply. So let's start with this tube right over here that has the amber light. So I'm just going to take the biasing rod. I'm going to make sure I don't burn myself, because these tubes are very warm at this point. And it is important to make sure that your amp is fully warmed up prior to biasing, and that there is no signal going through the amplifier. This is done on a warmed up amp with no signal. So we're just going to simply put the biasing rod in, and when you turn this clockwise, that's what activates the light. turning it counterclockwise is what deactivates the light. When the lights are on, it's signifying that this tube is not in bias, and we need to correct that. So we're going to slowly start turning it counterclockwise until that amber light, and it just went off now, and I immediately stopped twisting. So you want to stop turning it the moment that light goes off. Since these tubes are in sync with one another and connected to one another, when you adjust one, it could cause the other one to go out of bias as well. And if that were to happen, we would simply, it didn't happen in this case, but if that were to happen, and if this amber light were to go on, we would simply come up to this one and do the same thing and turn it counterclockwise till the moment that light goes off. Now we're going to do the same thing over on this one. So I have this amber light lit up. I'm going to put the biasing rod in right here. And I'm going to turn this just till the moment it just went off and I stop. Okay, now over on this side, we can see that we don't have any of the amber lights on, but I'm not going to take that for granted and assume that everything is just fine, because there's quite a bit of leeway where you can turn this counterclockwise where the lights remain off. So what I would do is actually turn it to the point where the light does come on, and I would probably do that for both of them, and then back out right to the moment where it goes off. Just went off, and just went off. So for the bottom one, it was actually turned quite a bit counterclockwise. So that is probably not the best position for it to be in, even though the light was not on. Okay, now this is our last one. We're going to do the same thing. Okay, so those are all off. Now, one thing you might notice is that this could still, one of these tubes or more of them, could still go out of bias again for a couple of reasons. One is that this is a new amplifier, the tubes are new, and it's still in the break-in period. That could cause it. It could also happen as the tube warms, as the amplifier warms up even more. So this one, I probably did not turn it enough because it is popping itself on. Okay, that seems to be good. So as the amplifier is breaking in and warming up, we're just going to make sure that if we see any of the amber lights pop on, that we're just going to adjust it just a little bit further to make sure that all of our tubes are all of the tubes have the same amount of current flowing through them. Another thing that I learned today, specifically about this Conrad-Johnson amp and Conrad-Johnson amps in general, is that when you are listening to music and this amp starts producing 10 watts, these amber lights will start flashing, and that's perfectly normal behavior and expected behavior. And it's really, the reason it does it is just as an indicator for you as the user that you're using 10 watts. Just gives you an indication of where you are as far as the amount of power. So what I want to do and what's going to happen next is I want to take this amplifier home. I want to take it home, and I really want to put it through its paces on my system. Currently I have the T+A A3000 stereo amp, which I love. And as I'm trying to learn more and more about tube amps and really understand them, I want to take this home and put it on my system, which right now I have Platinum 300s from Monitor Audio, and see what this does for those speakers. And then come back and do a really in-depth review of this amp and talk more about tubes, from what I've learned from Jeff this morning, because there was quite a lot of information, and I was really excited to get that from him. So I'd like to share that and talk more about what I learned and more about my experience with this amplifier, not just at my house, but here in the shop as well.
gone most of the time. Most of the time, it's well understood. Most of the time, I wouldn't change it if I could. I can make it all match up. I can hold my own. I can deal with the situation right down to the bone. I can survive and I can endure, and I don't even think about her most of the time. Most of the time, my head is on straight. Most of the time, I'm strong enough not to hate. I don't build up illusion till it makes me sick. I ain't afraid of confusion. No matter how thick, I can smile in the face of mankind. Don't even remember what her lips felt like on mine most of the time. Most of the time, she ain't even in my mind. I wouldn't know her if I saw her. She's that far behind. Most of the time, I can't even be sure if she was ever with me or if I was ever with her. Most of the time, I'm halfway content. Most of the time, I know exactly where it all went. I don't cheat on myself. I don't run and hide from the feelings that I buried inside. I don't compromise, and I don't pretend. I don't even care if I ever see her again. Most of the time.
enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, everyone.